The thing that got your business to where it is right now is not what's going to get it to the next level. In fact, it might be the very thing holding you back. When growth slows, the natural thing is to go back to what worked before. Do more of what built the foundation. Stay close to what you know. And I understand that instinct. It is built on real experience. But what I've seen consistently working with businesses across Africa at the point of scale is that the strategies most deeply embedded in a business are often the exact ones creating an invisible ceiling. I am Adewumi-Zer, founder and CEO of Zer Consulting Africa. For over 2 decades, I've worked with executives and business leaders across the continent. And one of the most consistent patterns I encounter is a founder whose greatest strength has quietly become their biggest constraint. That is what we are unpacking today. By the end of this video, you'll understand why every strategy has its own expiration date, the 3 signs that tell you a strategy has already run its course in your business, and what strategic evolution actually looks like for a founder who has built something real. Now, every strategy is built for a specific context. It is designed to solve a specific problem at a specific stage of growth. And when the context changes, when the business grows, the team expands, market shifts, the strategy needs to evolve with it. The way you won your first 10 clients was probably deeply personal. It was built on your network, your reputation, your presence in the room. That worked perfectly when the business needed traction. But a business that needs to scale from 30 clients to 300 clients cannot grow on the same personal energy that served those first 10. Think of it this way. A bungalow, a small house, is a perfectly designed structure for what it is. It serves its purpose completely. But the moment you decide to build a skyscraper, that bungalow floor plan is no longer an asset. It actually becomes a constraint. The same is true for your strategy. It was exactly right for a version of the business that no longer exists. So let's take a quick time out. If you want to know exactly where your business architecture is leaking, you don't have to guess. In my book, Afro Optimism Unleashed, I break out the entire operational blueprint from cover to cover. But you can audit your structural vitals right now. Click on the link in the description to take the Scale Your Business scorecard. In less than 5 minutes, you'll get a brutal data-backed diagnostic of your company's true structural limits. So grab your score, find your ceiling, and let's get back to the video. So how do you know when a strategy has reached its limit? There are 3 signs I look for. Sign 1, growth only happens when the founder has entered the building. If the only projects that succeed are the only ones that you drove, your strategy has not scaled. The business is still running on one person's direct energy, and that is not a strategy. That is a dependency. Sign 2, you're running the same playbook that you ran 3 years ago and it's producing less and less results. Not 0, but less. The same effort, the same approach, same channels, but diminishing returns. That is the market telling you something critical about what stage of growth you're at. Sign 3, your team cannot execute the strategy without you explaining it every single time. If your growth strategy lives only in your head, if it has never been documented, systematized, or transferred, then it's not a strategy. It's a habit, and habits do not scale. I know how terrifying it is to change a playbook that's currently working. Just over a decade into my career, I transitioned to a major corporate client in Germany to drive a massive global change agenda across multiple regions and multiple functions. At day 0, it was initially just me. A default playbook built on 10-15 years was pure, unadulterated solo hustle. I poured my heart, I poured my soul into doing everything myself, working insane hours to keep every project moving. That worked for initial traction, but I soon hit a hard wall. My personal bandwidth had become the ultimate bottleneck for global vision. I had to completely retire that solopreneur mindset that made me successful in my early career. I stopped trying to be the single engine and built a small but mighty team of 5 international co-conspirators. That strategic pivot from personal effort to team architecture was the only reason we scaled that global transformation. But evolving your strategy doesn't mean abandoning everything that worked. It means extracting the principle underneath what worked and rebuilding the execution for the stage where you're actually at. If personal relationships were your growth engine, the principle under that is trust. The evolution is building systems to create trust at scale through how you deliver, how you communicate, how every client interaction is structured, rather than through your personal presence in every conversation. The question every scaling founder has to ask honestly is this: was the strategy built for where we were or where we're going? Because you cannot reach skyscraper floors using a bungalow staircase. At some point, you have to build an elevator. So look at the strategy your business is running right now and ask yourself honestly, was this built for where we were or where we're going? Share what you discover in the comments. And if I've named a problem that you're feeling but just couldn't describe, give this video a like so I know this is the depth you need. And to join our weekly sessions on architecting the new Africa, hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. Now, evolving your strategy requires looking at a completely different set of metrics. Most leaders are grading themselves on a wrong scorecard. Click the video on the screen to join the next session, where I reveal how a perfectly stable revenue line can secretly mask a business whose growth has already stopped. I'm Adewumi-Zer. This is what building Africa actually looks like. I'll see you in the next one.